Only through eternity are you closest to the heavenly principles.
The essence of the abyss lies in the hatred carried by all the fates that will not come to pass.
In the perpetual meantime of a sheltered eternity, most are content to live and not to dream.
Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future, just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods. Could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
Reason dictates that this nation be destroyed. I shall record the history of its future here in its past.
Observe the gravitational forces and influence of celestial bodies. One must be able to see past the false sky. Only by obtaining these cosmic parameters can one predict the fate of this world.
Step forth if you have understood the meaning of your journey. Then, the threads of all fate will be yours to reweave.